Caroline Vance, Lucas Mercer, and I grew up together in the same exclusive gated community in Greenwich. We were the inseparable trio, though Caroline and Lucas were like oil and water, clashing the moment they were in the same room. For over a decade, I played the peacemaker. One week before my wedding to Caroline, I was scrolling through a forum when a post caught my eye. It was a photo of a church wedding rehearsal. The blurry back of the groom looked strangely familiar. I owned his suit before he did. I owned you first. After all these years, I finally won one against him. Just then, a text came in from the bespoke tailor. Mr. Thor, my apologies. The suit won't be ready for pickup until tomorrow. We need to adjust a few details. I looked back at the photo in the post. I zoomed in. The diamond cufflinks at the wrist. I had designed those myself. An hour earlier, Caroline had texted me. Julian, I'm so sorry. Something came up at work. I can't go with you to pick up the suit today. Then Lucas, bro, my bad. Something urgent came up. Can't make it to help you check the fit. Why was everyone apologizing to me this morning? I shook my head, trying to dispel the paranoid thoughts creeping in. There was a pinned comment at the top of the post. Even from the back, you two look perfect together. Since you're childhood sweethearts and clearly in love, you should just steal her. I replied to the comment. If they're in love, why is stealing necessary? Just curious. Following for the tea. That evening, Caroline and Lucas showed up at the same time. As usual, they were bickering. What kind of fiancé are you? Lucas sneered playfully. You promised to go with Julian to get a suit. What could possibly be more important than that? And you, she shot back. You said you'd help him with the styling, yet you vanished into thin air. I looked at these two people who had been part of my life for as long as I could remember. One was my fiancé, the other my best friend. That post, maybe it was just a coincidence. All right, you two, I said, feigning a headache. You fight the second you see each other. Aren't you tired of it after all these years? They glanced at each other, the corners of their lips twitching upward. My heart sank. The tailor said it's not ready until tomorrow anyway, I said. No harm done. We still flaked on you, Lucas insisted. Let's go out for dinner. My treat by way of apology. Why should you treat? Caroline rolled her eyes. Don't steal my thunder. I should be the one making it up to him first. She playfully slapped his shoulder, or rather his neck. I saw her freeze for a second. The tips of Lucas's ears turned red. What's wrong? I asked. Did you guys start drinking already? Oh, nothing. Let's go, she said quickly. At the restaurant, Caroline and I sat on one side of the booth, Lucas across from me. After he went to buy a pack of cigarettes, he returned and naturally slid into the seat directly opposite Caroline. Caroline's hand paused as she was serving me food. Her legs shifted beneath the table. Lucas looked visibly pleased. He drank a little too much to drive. Caroline and I dropped him off at his penthouse, settled him in, and left. Oh no, Caroline gasped as we got back to the car. I left my purse at Luke's place. She was supposed to stay at my place tonight. I'll drive you back to get it, I offered. She shook her head instantly. It's too late. I'm not going to ruin your sleep schedule. I'd feel guilty. I'll go get it myself, and just head home after. Next time, we'll. She kissed me on the cheek and hopped out of the car, her steps light and eager. After I washed up, I checked my phone. My comment had a reply from the original poster. The three of us grew up together. I spent more time with her. We were frenemies since we were kids. But the other guy liked her too. She felt obligated to say yes to him because he saved her life once. I can only suffer in silence and wish them well. But she couldn't stand seeing me hurt. She picked up the custom suit she designed for him and let me wear it first, giving me a secret wedding, one the world won't recognize just for the two of us. Knowing the woman I love would go this far for me is enough. Tonight is our wedding night. I have no regrets in this life. Attached was a photo, for legs tangled together outside the duvet. There was a scar on the bridge of one foot, an injury Lucas got when we were kids playing in the creek. The comment section was going wild, shipping them and offering advice. Bro, you can't let love slip away like that. You have to fight for happiness. Screw the engagement. Even if they were married, they should divorce. You can't confuse a debt of gratitude with love. Be brave. Help the heroine wake up. Live stream the objection at the wedding, please. +1. The poster replied, that wouldn't be right. He's my best brother. I can't stab him in the back over a woman. Honestly, he's more important than she is. Our fathers went through hell together. As long as they're happy, I'm willing to be a spectator and bury my feelings. My heart breaks for you, bro. It's always the quiet ones who suffer. Crying emoji. I remembered playing house in the gated community when we were kids. Caroline said she wanted me to be her groom. Lucas immediately burst into tears. No, I want to be your groom. Caroline had laughed. Then you can both be my grooms. The adults standing nearby had roared with laughter. I tried to FaceTime Caroline. She declined to call instantly. An hour later, she texted, Julian, Lucas is being a drunken mess. He threw up everywhere. I just finished cleaning him up. He even got puke on my bag. Soon, the forum thread updated again. A new wave of wedding night sweetness. After tonight, no regrets. I will stand on that stage as your best man. Wishing us, eternal happiness. The text and photos made me physically gag, but the comments were a different story. Ugh, imagining this hurts so much. Watching your lover marry your brother from up close, having to smile and clap. I think the girl should be brave. Break the engagement and marry Opie. Just want to see true love win. Maybe the other guy isn't a good person. Both Opie and the girl seem scared to risk it. The life-saving debt must be heavy. I hate people who force relationships. You can't force love. And look, Opie puts his brother first, while the brother only cares about himself. Without knowing a single fact, the internet mob was spiraling, painting me as the villain. Why? Years ago, Lucas's father was implicated in a massive federal indictment. It was my father who pulled every string, called in every favor, and funded the legal team to clear his name. That was the darkest time of Lucas's life. I took him into my home. We ate together, slept in the same room. I was his therapist and his anchor. I updated him the second my father had news. Caroline had even complained back then that I was neglecting her for Lucas. It's a crisis, Caroline. Luke is really not doing well. I promise I'll make it up to you. After I sent her away, Lucas and I drank through the night. It's all my fault. He had slurred. I'm messing things up between you two. Caroline is right to be mad. Brother, thank you. Seriously, I owe you my life. 20 years of friendship, and he had two faces. His mouth spoke of blessings and sacrifice, while his hands held the knife he stuck in my back. My heart turned to absolute ice. The next day, I went to the tailor. Why are there 2 diamonds missing here? I asked, examining the cuffs. The staff looked at each other nervously. One finally stepped forward, terrified. Ms. Vance said the design looked better this way. I called Caroline and told her to come to the shop immediately. When she saw the loose threads on the cuff, panic flashed in her eyes. Julian, why did you come and pick it up yourself? There are 2 diamonds missing. They said it was your idea. My tone was flat. Oh yes, I thought it looked more streamlined. Too many gems felt tacky. Why didn't you tell me? It was Luke. Caroline stopped herself just in time. Julian, are you angry? I shook my head. I just think it's bad luck. Doesn't it count as damaged goods? No. Her voice spiked, then softened. Julian, don't overthink it. The wedding is almost here. We're finally going to be together properly. Aren't you happy? I picked at the loose thread on the cuff, ignoring her. No matter how much effort you put into something, once it's been used by someone else, you don't want it anymore. That applies to clothes, and it applies to people. As the wedding date approached, Lucas's account updated more frequently. He started a wedding countdown series. Countdown, 5 days. She made me my favorite sandwich today. He's never even tasted her cooking. If I can't be her only, at least I'll be her first priority. The photo showed Caroline in an apron, busy in a kitchen. I once asked her to cook for me. She had refused flat out. I'm a disaster in the kitchen. I wouldn't dare ruin that precious stomach of yours. Your mother would kill me. Countdown, 4 days. She gave him the title, but she gave me the one-of-a-kind ring. In the next life, find me with this token. The photo showed intertwined fingers, each wearing a matching ring. I can't take this. Can you guys just be together? We'll sign a petition begging that other guy to let you go. Make it happen. Count me in. Lucas replied. He loves her too. I can't bear to hurt my brother, not after so many years of friendship. But he hurt you. Silence from the privileged is violence. No excuse. Exactly. If all else fails, we'll crowdfund a hitman to take him out. Don't blame me for being toxic. I just can't stand seeing such a pure-hearted man denied happiness. The author liked this comment. To the person above, I was thinking the same thing. Reading line after line, I felt like I was falling into a glacier. If they truly loved each other, they could have just told me. Sure, it would have hurt, but I know what matters. Stepping aside with dignity wasn't out of the question. But they chose this cheap, malicious way to stab me in the back. Once I calmed down, I archived all the content. I scrolled back further. It turned out that 3 years ago, when Lucas went on his soul-searching trip around the world, Caroline was there too. His photos often featured a blurred shoulder or a woman's silhouette reflected in his sunglasses. There were videos clearly shot from a girlfriend's perspective. Back then, he told me love wasn't important in his world. He loved freedom more. He claimed those people were just fellow travelers he met along the way. At the same time, Caroline had been sent to the Nordic branch of her family's company. I'd been blind. 3 years, and I hadn't noticed a thing. If the algorithm hadn't pushed Lucas's burner account to me. Countdown. 3 days. I was confirming details with the wedding planner. Caroline checked her phone, and a look of excitement washed over her face. "Honey, I have to leave you to handle this," she said. "I need to go back to the office to deal with something." Before I could respond, she was already walking briskly toward the door. "Caroline," she turned back, looking puzzled. "3 days left. There are details you need to know. I can't decide everything alone." She smiled and made a fighting gesture. "You got this. Just update me later." Caroline seemed to have forgotten. Years ago, her family pivoted from politics to business and was targeted by old rivals. To save her, I fought off 5 armed thugs alone. I took a knife to the back and one to the abdomen. It didn't hit any vital organs, but the bone-deep pain was something I'd never forget. Through the haze of blood loss, I saw Caroline crying hysterically, eyes nearly popping out her head. In the hospital room, in front of both our parents, she swore by my bedside that she would marry no one but me in this lifetime. "Julian, you don't know how scared I was. If I lost you, I probably wouldn't survive either." For a long time after, she would wake up from nightmares where I was covered in blood and lifeless. Despite the best medical care, I was left with scars and nerve damage. On rainy days, the phantom pain still flared up like needle pricks. All of it was a reminder that I had once thrown my life on the line for a girl named Caroline Vance. I thought seeing the truth about this adulterous pair would numb me to the sadness. But remembering the past, a wave of grief still hit me. I wasn't a heavy drinker, but that night, I drank a month's worth of liquor. Even my old wounds started to ache. Lucas was still counting down. Countdown. 3 days. I know they're checking wedding details. Thinking about the scene 3 days from now is killing me. But I didn't expect her to drop everything and come to me with just one sentence. He posted a screenshot of their chat. "Lucas, I have a new gift for you. Come see it now." The comments were still baffling to me. What is the gift? So hard to guess. Opie is truly so generous, giving all his best to the one he loves. I understand Opie's mindset. Watching the big day approach for his lover and his brother is torture. Bound by loyalty and morals, he can't do anything. He can only pour all his love into her, so her body will remember him forever. That there was a man who loved her this selflessly. That comment was pinned. Just then, Caroline actually called me. "Julian, honey, I have to go to the neighboring city for a business trip for 2 days. You'll have to handle the wedding prep. She was out of breath. "Don't worry, I'll be back the day before the wedding." My voice was devoid of emotion. "Is it that urgent? More important than our wedding?" Caroline let out a soft gasp. "I am sorry, Julian. If I could get out of it, I would. I wouldn't be telling you this now if it wasn't critical." The call ended. I sat motionless, waiting for the update. While we were doing it just now, she called him. I want her to think of me every time she talks to him in the future. As usual, he received a wave of sympathy and admiration. For the next 2 days, they had their final fling and farewell in Shanghai. They called each other husband and wife. After compiling all the evidence, I confessed everything to my parents. "Julian, go," my father said, his face stern. "Go clear your head. Leave the rest to me." The wedding day arrived. Guests began to fill the venue. I boarded a plane. Caroline and Lucas arrived separately. She entered the bridal suite through the back door and didn't see me. It occurred to her that she hadn't seen Julian in a while. They were rarely apart for more than 5 days. He must be in the main hall greeting guests. Thinking of how his parents doted on him, Caroline smiled sincerely. That man loved her to death. He probably couldn't live without her. After today, she would be the daughter-in-law of the Thorne family, the beloved wife of the CEO of Thorne Enterprises. The guests were seated. The officiant began the proceedings. Caroline's eyelid twitched. She felt a sudden sense of dread. She exchanged a glance with Lucas, who looked equally guilty. But seeing the Thorne parents in the front row calmed her down. The officiant repeated his lines 3 times. The groom still hadn't appeared. Suddenly, the massive screen, which was playing a montage of the couple's sweet moments, went black. When the image returned, it was a PowerPoint presentation. It showed screenshots of Lucas's forum posts, the comment interactions, and censored photos of him and Caroline, explicit bedroom shots, the secret church wedding. The final slide was a blown-up version of the comment about crowdfunding a hitman to kill me, liked by the author. It played on a loop. The guests began to murmur. "Isn't that Caroline and the Mercer kid? Did they have a secret wedding? What is this saying? It sounds like Julian stole his destiny or something. Didn't those two always hate each other, hooking up with their fiancé's best friend? The Vance family upbringing is shocking. So they were sleeping together right up to the wedding? That's disgusting. Look at that one. Someone said they should kill Julian, and he liked it. Isn't that malicious? They're supposed to be best friends. The Thornes saved his family's ass back in the day. On stage, Caroline and Lucas turned pale. She screamed toward the tech booth, "What is this? Turn it off. Turn it off now." No one listened to her. In the front row, my parents' faces were dark with rage. Caroline's parents looked just as bad. "Caroline, what is going on? Where is Julian?" Only then did Caroline snap out of her terror. Where was Julian? Did he know? Lucas hid in the corner of the stage, panicking. He never expected Caroline to drag him out, screaming, "Why did you post these?" Lucas just shook his head in terror. Since childhood, he had finally beaten Julian Thorne at something. How could he resist documenting it to brag? But he never thought it would spiral out of control like this. The guests eventually dispersed, leaving only the three families in a heavy silence. My father slammed his hand on the table, pointing a furious finger at Caroline. "How has my Julian ever wronged you? That you would humiliate him like this?" "In-law, please don't be angry. Let's talk this out," Caroline's mother pleaded, clutching her chest. "Don't call me that. I hereby announce that the engagement between our families is void." "No." Caroline's eyes were bloodshot as she begged. "Dad, please tell me. Where did Julian go? You have no right to know." My father turned to Lucas, his chest heaving. "And you?" The Mercer family raised a fine son. To do something this shameless is beyond belief. Lucas's mother, who hadn't spoken, stood up indignantly. "Don't act like it's all Luke's fault. It takes two to tango. Maybe the Vance girl seduced my son." Caroline's mother slammed the table too. "Impossible. My daughter was going to marry Julian. In what world does your son compare to Julian? Why would she seduce him?" The Mercer and Vance parents erupted into a shouting match, blaming each other's children. Caroline frantically called my phone and sent texts, but she was blocked. Panic like she had never known seized her heart. They were so close. They were supposed to live happily ever after. Her affair with Lucas was supposed to be a permanent secret. Julian had never been able to stand seeing her sad. Why was he so cruel this time? She went to the Thorne estate and made a scene at the gate, begging the security guard to tell her where I was. She received only insults and was driven away. Lucas was grounded and locked in his room. Someone had uploaded videos of the wedding disaster online. Shouldn't the groom just step aside if he found out? What is this deliberate revenge? Can't say too much, but apparently his dad is a big shot. No wonder the forum poster was so careful. Seems like he didn't have the power to fight back. Is this trying to incite cyberbullying against the poster? Too bad, we have eyes. We've been following that blogger for a long time. We know how hard his journey has been. Pure-hearted men are rare these days. Seeing that he still had support, Lucas decided to fight a PR war. His posts were flooded with fans comforting him. Regarding my identity, he deliberately kept it vague to paint a specific picture. His background, how should I put it? They call me his brother, but in reality, I'm basically like a servant from the old days, summoned when needed, dismissed when not. A single ambiguous sentence branded me as a tyrannical, wealthy princeling abusing his power. Public opinion swung overwhelmingly to defend Lucas. Watching this farce unfold, I found it laughable. I didn't let my father intervene. It wasn't appropriate for him at this stage. I uploaded screenshots of the gifts Caroline and I exchanged for every anniversary and holiday, along with chat logs from key moments since we started dating. I also dug up records of every business deal I collaborated on with Lucas. Title, "The First Half of My Life," stabbed in the back by my childhood sweetheart and best friend. The comments began to shift. Wait, I'm confused. The blogger and the girl looked like they were actually in love. Yeah, and the blogger took care of the friend too. Look at those contracts. One of those deals would feed that guy's mid-sized company for 6 months. I wanted to say this earlier. Regardless of whether the cheating couple loves each other, they were about to get married. That shady guy's behavior is no different from a homewrecker. I'm scared to speak up with how twisted people's morals are these days. It's simple. The cheating girl wanted both. Sleep with one before the marriage. Sleep with the other after. The shady guy betrayed his brother and knowingly became the side piece. The blogger found out in time, exposed their trashy behavior, and the shady guy got embarrassed and angry, using his mindless followers to smear the blogger. The end. Lucas's account was raided by angry netizens. He immediately wiped all his content. But he wasn't fast enough. People had screen recorded everything. His guilty conscience confirmed the netizens' deductions. He was labeled an ingrate, a backstabber, and a homewrecker. He became the hottest gossip in our social circles. Parents warned their children not to associate with the Mercer family, lest they get stabbed in the back. After all, if he could do that to Julian Thorne, his best friend, who was safe. Lucas's father screamed that he was a disgrace and threatened to ship him off to their subsidiary in Africa. When Lucas finally got through to me, his voice was trembling. "I am sorry, Julian. I was possessed. I just love Caroline too much. Love is uncontrollable, you understand, right? You even took a knife for her. But believe me, I never wanted to destroy you. I just wanted to fulfill a wish for myself. I cut him off. That comment you liked and pinned about killing me. Do I need to spell out the malice there? He sounded terrified. No, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean it like that. The fans were too emotional. I couldn't explain too much. I just had to go along with them. I asked coldly, I believe I've been more than benevolent to you and your company all these years. Even Caroline said I was too good to you. If you two really loved each other, you could have told me. Why did you have to do something so despicable and disgust everyone? It was Caroline who refused to give me up to marry you, wasn't it? There was a pause on the other end, and then he suddenly started laughing. Julian Thorne, you're always like this. Since we were kids. Always confident. Always shining. Everyone praising you. Even Caroline only liked you. And your kindness to me? It was like charity. Where was the sincerity? I laughed in disbelief. Talking to this ungrateful wolf was a waste of time. If you've forgotten who saved your family back then, go ask your dad. After hanging up, I took deep breaths to calm my racing heart. Back then, my father told me Lucas's dad's case was toxic. Getting involved could drag us down too. You are my son. I know your character too well. You put loyalty above everything. If I don't help, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. I can't lose that bond with an old war buddy, and I can't let you down. I'll do my best. Thinking back, I was truly a willful child. I owed my parents an apology. The day I returned to New York, Caroline found me. Her disheveled appearance actually looked somewhat genuine. Julian, you're back. Do you know how worried I was about you? Why did you leave without a word? Do you not want me anymore? I looked at her coldly. This was the woman whose tears used to make me panic instantly. Do you have amnesia? Did you forget things like calling me while you were sleeping with Lucas? Caroline looked ashamed and tried desperately to explain. I just wanted to make it up to him. We grew up together. You and I have a lifetime. But he has nothing. He just wanted me to fulfill his wish before the wedding. Choosing you was already me favoring you. Julian, he's your best friend too. You should understand him. If he never marries because of me, wouldn't he be pitiful growing old alone? I smiled sarcastically. If you're worried about him dying alone, then marry him. That won't work. His dad has a criminal record. I can't. Caroline realized what she said the moment it left her mouth. So, I said, disgust dripping from my voice, you sleep with him under the guise of making it up to him, but you look down on his family background. Caroline, how can you be this repulsive? No, Julian, honey, what matters is that I love you. Don't call me that. And don't say that word to me. You're not worthy. The engagement is canceled. Don't appear in front of me again. Ignoring her dignity, she dropped to her knees right there. Julian, please give me another chance, okay? We have 20 years of history. You almost gave your life for me. How can you give up so easily? If you like kneeling, then keep kneeling. Lucas's father dragged Lucas to my house to apologize. Julian, it's my failure as a father. I brought him here to apologize sincerely. For the sake of our family's years of friendship, please forgive him. Okay. My tone was respectful. Mr. Mercer, you're too serious. A real man can handle setbacks. I let go of my anger at the wedding. I'm not mad anymore. Since Lucas and Caroline are in love, as a friend, I should support them. However, Caroline said, I paused. What did she say? Lucas asked urgently. I took a breath and enunciated every word. She said your father has a criminal record, so she could never possibly marry you. The expressions on the faces of the Mercer men as they left were truly interesting. Soon, the Vance family business was exposed for tax evasion and various financial irregularities. Not only did they have to deal with public outcry, but also federal investigations. I knew this was the Mercers' doing. In retaliation, the old case regarding Lucas's father was dug up again. The Vance and Mercer families were now sworn enemies, fighting tooth and nail. Caroline and her parents came to ask my dad for help. Old friend, Caroline's dad said, look at our years of friendship. Even if we aren't in-laws, we're still family friends. What the Mercers are doing is dirty. Can you? My dad raised a hand, stopping him. My son took a knife for your daughter. For years, he was devoted only to her. But the Vance family values are truly hard to trust. Hearing this, Caroline's father slapped her hard across the face. How did I raise such a blind fool? What potion did that Mercer boy give you to do something so filthy? Caroline had been staring at me since she walked in. Julian, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been tempted. I shouldn't have betrayed our love. I haven't repaid your life-saving grace yet. Please, give me another chance. I shook my head. You don't need to feel that moral pressure. In that situation, I would have done the same for anyone. Since you slept with him and were so obsessed, you couldn't bear to be apart even before the wedding. Just marry him. I respect your choice. Absolutely not. Her father roared. On this point, the Vance family wouldn't compromise. The internet sleuths turned into Sherlock Holmes. Life-saving grace sounds so light coming from that cheater's mouth. The truth is the main guy took a knife for the scumbag. Taking a knife? Okay, I guess I don't love enough. I couldn't do it. It's more than that. The girl's family had legal trouble, and the blogger's family helped them too. The debt is huge. Just goes to show there are a lot of ingrates in the world. No wonder. The cheater just treated him as a free meal ticket. She didn't respect him. She really wanted to marry the blogger for status. This girl is something else. Threw away a perfect marriage because she got seduced by a few sweet words. Good thing the blogger woke up. Actually, I didn't love Caroline that much. I want to beat you so badly. Caroline gave me hope. Because other than this, I couldn't find a single way to win against you. Why? We have similar backgrounds, same education. I don't think I'm worse than you in any way. Why do you always effortlessly attract everyone's attention and then pretend to be nice to me? Lucas came to confess to me before he was supposed to go abroad. There are things I didn't say because I didn't want to burden you, I said quietly. Back when your dad was in trouble, it was so serious that even my dad was afraid to get involved. I begged him to help. I told him I didn't want my best friend to be sad forever. You have no idea the risk my father took to clear that mess for your family. His eyes trembled. Is that true? Julian, are you saying I've been wrong this whole time? I had no patience for his remorse. You're wrong about more than just that. How much of Caroline's feelings for you were real? You caused all this chaos and destroyed a lifelong family friendship. Now, both your families are ruining each other. If either of you had been genuine, it wouldn't have ended like this. Our friendship is over. Good luck. Behind me, I heard his gut-wrenching wail. It sounded exactly like the crying I heard when he came to my house asking for help all those years ago. Lucas never went abroad. Caroline was pregnant. She wanted an abortion. The Mercer family wouldn't allow it. Caroline, why do you want to kill the baby? Is it not mine? But we use protection. How could it happen? Caroline looked at Lucas in disbelief. You bastard. You ruined me, and now you want to slander me? I won't keep this baby, but don't forget, who was it that sweet-talked me into not using a condom before the wedding? Lucas remembered then, panic flashing across his face. I am sorry, Caroline. I was wrong. Let's get married. We'll have the baby, give him a complete... Caroline screamed. I can't have your baby. If I do, Julian will never forgive me. Ugh. Wake up. Julian Thorne stopped loving you a long time ago. The parents argued incessantly. This is the first grandson of the Mercer family. You have no right to abort it. Your son has no morals. He ruined my daughter's marriage to the Thorne family, and we haven't even settled that score yet. This bastard child cannot be kept. Amidst the chaos, Caroline stood motionless. Julian doesn't love her anymore. Her parents' blame, the Mercer's insults, the internet's mockery. None of it hurt as much as that sentence. No, she couldn't live without Julian. Since she was a little girl, she knew she would grow up to marry him. She had to win him back. He was just angry for now. If she coaxed him, he would soften. Caroline couldn't even get through the main gate of the Thorne estate. The butler told her the young master had already gone abroad for postgrad studies. My life studying overseas was fulfilling. Those heavy emotions turned into ordinary memories. My life had been framed early on. Be the perfect heir to the Thorne legacy, and practice being the perfect son-in-law for the Vance Cess. Not only did I have to build my own company, but I also had to prop up the Vance family. The success of both families was tied to my competence. My love for Caroline was more an extension of family and friendship. I was used to protecting her. I was taught from childhood to take care of this little sister. The life-saving grace elevated that habit to a socially celebrated height. But I knew clearly now that it was all like a formula. Every option was pre-selected. The only thing missing was what I actually wanted. The blow from the wedding wasn't heartbreak. It was the double betrayal of 20 years of bond. The romance part was actually minimal. Through this ordeal, I decided to break the mold and pursue the life I actually wanted. I had wanted to study law, but both sets of parents had disapproved. They said it was meaningless. Was I really going to be a practicing attorney? This time, my parents didn't interfere. They respected my choice. When Caroline appeared in front of me again, I felt only annoyance. It was like a childhood playmate who suddenly said they hated you, then ran back later begging to play, but you'd already lost interest. Julian, can't we even be friends? Do you hate me that much? Caroline's demeanor was designed to show the world she was the victim, the one abandoned. My coldness made me look like the abuser. I don't think that's necessary. Her lip quivered, tears ready to fall. Her usual tactic. After everything, I realized you didn't love me that much. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so heartless. If it was someone else who grew up with you, you'd have married them too, right? I didn't answer. Such a meaningless hypothesis. But Julian, I really love you. In this life, I only recognize you as my husband. I couldn't help but prick her bubble. If my dad was the one with a criminal record, would you still think that? Caroline froze. I continued. If Mr. Mercer didn't have a record, you'd probably have your marriage license with Lucas by now, right? Hypocritical to the core. I was glad I saw her true colors. Spending a long life with someone like that would have been terrifying. Caroline didn't have the face to keep bothering me. Her belly grew bigger every day. The Mercer family held leverage over the Vance family business. Neither side could afford another war. Plus, Caroline's reputation in high society was completely destroyed. Keeping the child was her only safety net. As her due date approached, the company issues hadn't resolved. Because of the criminal record, the Mercer family wasn't afraid of a scandal. The Vances had more to lose. Caroline was forced to marry Lucas, but she was treated coldly in the Mercer household. The birth was difficult. She nearly died. Looking at the infant who had Lucas's eyes, she couldn't summon a shred of maternal love. Lucas watched Caroline sinking deeper into memories of Julian every day. She barely looked at the baby. He worried she would become clinically depressed. He doesn't love you. Are you acting like this just to spite me? Caroline, the baby is here. Why can't we just live a good life? Am I that terrible? Is a Mercer family that beneath you? Caroline looked at a photo of her and me, her tone icy. Your family insisted I have this child. Now I've had it, and it has nothing to do with me. The person I wanted to marry was always Julian Thorne. If you insisted on marriage, fine, but you will never replace him. Lucas laughed in extreme anger. But when we were together, you said if it wasn't for his life-saving debt, you wouldn't have chosen him firmly. You deny me completely just because of my dad's record? We grew up together too. Why do you treat us so differently? Confusion appeared in Caroline's eyes. Was that true? Maybe she did love Lucas. She enjoyed his attention. But that was based on the premise that she already had Julian. He saw what she was thinking. His clenched fists shook violently, but he held back from hitting her. You always treated me as a backup, didn't you? Julian saw through you clearly. He gave up on a heartless woman like you early on. I was so stupid. This child should never have been born. Right? He shouldn't exist. You all forced me. Caroline's voice was sharp and piercing. She actually moved to strangle the baby. The infant's cries didn't stop her. You crazy bitch. What are you doing? Lucas's mother rushed in and slapped her hard. You bad luck charm. You wrecked the peace of this house, and now you want to hurt my grandson. If you don't want to be here, go back to your own house. Good riddance. Caroline snapped out of it. Hearing the baby's heart-wrenching cries, she was filled with regret. But his mother wouldn't let her near him. Her head felt like it was splitting open. She couldn't stay in this place. Why did it turn out like this? If there hadn't been an accident, right now, she should be on the balcony with Julian, drinking tea, talking about movies or poetry. In the evening, they might cook together or go out for a candlelight dinner. He would watch how much wine she drank, covering her glass with a gentle smile and a shake of his head. After washing up, she would sit at the vanity, and he would hug her from behind, meeting her eyes in the mirror. Soon they would have children. Someone as gentle as Julian would be a wonderful father. The deeper she thought, the more intense the pain in her eyes became. The baby's crying, the mother-in-law's curses, Lucas's looked like she was a monster. It all suffocated her. One night, she got up dizzy and disoriented and fell down the stairs. Her C-section wound tore open again. No one heard her calls for help. When she was found the next morning, her lips were white. After a flurry of chaos, Lucas actually calmed down and took meticulous care of Caroline. He thought that now she was broken and ruined. No one else would want her anyway. Certainly not Julian Thorne. She would probably settle down and live quietly with him. But he never expected that one night, Caroline would stomp on his groin, crushing a testicle and ending his ability to have more children. Her son became the sole heir of the Mercer line. Caroline thought, my life was ruined by Lucas Mercer. I'm going to ruin him too. We could go to hell together. Her pride wouldn't allow her to just muddle through a life with Lucas. Her son was her hope and her leverage. One day, she would take him and leave the Mercer family. She had never received a kind face in the Mercer house. Now, even the servants dared to mock her to her face. Lucas became gloomy and violent. He forbade Caroline from leaving the house. She wasn't allowed to see her son at all. When the Vance parents saw their daughter again, her mind was no longer right. The Mercer family claimed it was severe postpartum psychosis. Hearing friends from back home talk about these events, I felt like it was a story from another lifetime. Those two trampled on others' sincerity and dignity. Facing such an end wasn't surprising. I finished my studies and returned to New York to open my own law firm, fulfilling my teenage dream. From then on, people call me Mr. Thorne the attorney. Not the young master, not the CEO, and certainly not the love-struck fool who took a knife for Caroline Vance. Story complete.